Hello, everyone. This is Wednesday, 27 of December. This is the last community call of the year, 2023. So I just wanted to do like a little roundup about some cool things that happened during this year and some things that will happen during the next one. First thing to mention, maybe there is a proposal in the forum to extend the rewards program of PNK rewards for people who's taking the course. This proposal has a bit of a difference with the previous ones in the sense that it's a variable rewards rate in order to try to incentivize people to stake their tokens and secure the court. As you know, as more tokens are staked in the court, more secure Kleros is. So that's what we want to incentivize. And this proposal has a number of features trying to make it as secure as possible through variable rewards rate. So I don't want to take time here because it's already in the forum. So if you want to comment, discuss, whatever, it's open. You can go to the Kleros forum and check the proposal. I think it's an improvement over what we had in the previous. Sorry, there's it's the police coming from me. No, sorry, we have alarms that trigger falsely in this building. So yeah, sorry, it's not the police coming for me, at least not for now. So yeah, go check the proposal in the forum. Make comments there if you want. So some cool things happened during 2023. I think one of the most important things we had is the launch of Kleros 2.0 on the testnet. So as you know, we have been developing Kleros 2.0 since almost the beginning of the project. We launched version 1 in 2019. Before that, there was a pre-alpha version that was the one we developed for Dodges on Trial experiment. Kleros 1.0, we launched that when we did the tokens list. And so we built that with lots of problems that happened, or with the tooling that was available in 2019, like a long time ago. So Kleros 2.0 is way better in the sense that it's built on a rollup. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be modular in the sense that we can create different dispute kits, and different dispute kits can address a number of requests that we get from different customers or partners. For example, people who want one person, one vote, people who want that only people who have certain skills or that belong to some community to be drawn, a number of things that were not possible before because we didn't have, when we started, any protocol for identity, like there was no proof of humanity, and we didn't have this idea of soul-bound tokens. So the combination of soul-bound tokens and identity systems will enable lots more flexibility into Kleros, and this will help address a number of use cases that now are not possible because we can only do token voting, and that's not good enough for a vast number of use cases. So Kleros 2.0 is based on a lot of research made by William, for example, on the social choice theory, the game theory, also on the how to make transmission of messages of Kleros rulings across different chains. For this, we had to develop a bridge ourselves in order to pass the information and make Kleros a multi-chain system, which is extremely important in the sense that, there are different chains that have users at the moment, and it's important that Kleros can work for resolving claims happening in different places. So that's very important. So 3 months ago or 4 months ago, we launched the testnet. So people have already been trying and testing the V2. So there were a bunch of things that we fixed in the interface, and now we are in the process of migrating this first version of the testnet to the Sepolia network. Now it's going to come the final testing, final bug fixing, and then smart contracts are going to go to auditing. So as you know, this is a quite complex logic that Kleros has, so it's important that it is properly audited and so it's secure and everything. So this is one of the most important things that happened during 2023 is this launch of Kleros V2 or Kleros 2.0 on the testnet. And it's the result of, I would say, 4 or 5 years of research and development. So why it took so long? Because it's meant to last for a long time. We don't expect to build a Kleros 3.0 in the near future. What will happen is that we will start focusing on building new modules for adding new functionalities into the Kleros 2.0. So as a new model is developed, we can plug it into the CURT, and then this adds more functionalities. So in terms of a big development projects, this was the one. This was Kleros 2.0 was the pyramids for us. It's a big project, or it was, if you want, the Apollo project, and now we are going to do more iterative and more dynamic and add-ons, but not a big project like this one. So that's why it took so long, and just created the base for the coming development of Kleros in the next, I would say, maybe 10 years. Right? Maybe in 10 years we should start thinking of Kleros 3.0. Who knows what it's going to look like by then? Probably, I don't know, some metaverse, like Neuralink enabled system where you just resolve cases through just thinking. Well, we'll see, but it's not in the books for now. So very important thing happened this year was the launch in the testnet, and one of the most important things that will happen, we think, next year is launching V2 on the mainnet, and this will be done first with a new version that is going to be feature parity with the Kleros 1.0, and then at some point when Kleros 2.0 is secured enough and it's working well enough, we will just migrate everything there, and Kleros 1.0 will be deprecated, and it's going to be, I guess, put into a museum or something, because it's definitely going to be a very important element in the history of law. And that event is going to be called the Kleros merge. It's a moment where we merge the CURT 1.0 and 2.0. So as Ethereum had their merge, we will have our own merge, and this is one of the main events that we expect for the next year. That's one extremely cool thing, and one of the main topics on which we are going to work in the next months. Another thing worth mentioning about 2023 is how Kleros curation became a bit more massive. So now Curate is being used by apps like MetaMask, Ledger, in order to curate a bunch of different elements like tokens and these blockchain addresses in order to secure how people use those tools, and so people can have community curated addresses to make sure that interacting with those addresses is secure. So we have been working in curation for a while now, but this is the first time that we start to see these type of applications become a bit more massive and being used by important, brands in the ecosystem like MetaMask, Ledger, and there's going to be lots more things coming from that side. I mean, there is this tool called Kleros Scout that is used for bringing these items from the curated lists by the community into these apps. So that was an extremely important thing happening because it validated the use case of Kleros about this particular type of use case. I don't know if you want to comment something about this, Jean, or anyone about the rewards programs we had, or there's something worth mentioning about this?
Yes, I believe that right now the rewards are already, well, the submissions already finished for this last period, but we have a dashboard where you can keep track of the submissions that we already have, and there's usually like a good opportunities because we use an algorithm to get distribution among the different registries and different chains. So yeah, I'll send the link of the dashboard. And we still don't have the program for January, but for sure in the first few weeks we make more comments on that.
Awesome, cool. So we have that. Another very important thing happening this year is that something that we have been struggling to make happen for a long time. That is the use of Kleros in the context of consumer claims. In this case, by launching joint work with a very important exchange for Latin America called Lemon. So Lemon uses Kleros in a way to resolve disputes happening between the exchange and the customer. So if the customer has claim about typical type of things that happen when you use like a bank service or like a fintech app that you have, you were charged for a service you didn't want to buy, or money disappear from your accounts, stuff like that. So you have a claim and then you go to customer service. So customer service can tell you you're right or no. And if they tell you that you are not right and they're not going to reimburse you, typically the only thing that you can do is, either go to a small claims court, which is typically quite expensive or time consuming, and it's not very much worth it for smaller claims for a couple dozen or maybe $100. Or what you can do is go to, let's say, social media and accuse the company of being scammers. That's what people do to protest out of frustration. So in this case, what is happening is that, of course, you can still go to, social media, but what is happening now is that Lemon is offering their customers that got their claim rejected by customer service a possibility to go to an external or third-party dispute resolution service like Kleros. So they send the claim to Kleros. We load this into the court, and then the customer sends their claim. The arguments why they should be reimbursed. They can also say share like print screens or PDF or whatever information they think it's important for the claim to succeed. Lemon provides a decision, their own answer and the evidence from their side of why they think the client should not be reimbursed. And then Kleros is going to make a decision based on the evidence. And you may want to ask, is this binding? So in this case, what happens is that when Kleros makes a decision, Lemon pledges to accept that decision as acceptable and to enforce it in their platform. So if the customer wins, then Lemon will reimburse the money that was at stake in this claim. If the customer loses, then the customer can still go to small claims court or to social media, so they don't lose any opportunity to make their claim heard into the traditional legal system. It's just that now they have an extra step that will be an opportunity to solve it faster and at way less cost than actually having to go to small claims court. So this was an extremely interesting setup of the of this type of use case. It's, as I'm saying, the first time in history that blockchain arbitration system is actually used in the context of consumer claims. We had a precedent in 2020 when this Mexican court had a decision accepted a Kleros ruling under certain conditions as valid under Mexican law. That was a very important milestone for the project and for the future of law. I will refer to that a bit later. But in this case, so the setup we are working with Lemon is what sometimes we call internally asymmetric arbitration clause. In the sense, it's asymmetric in the sense that it's binding for the company, but it's not binding for the customer, right? So, and this has worked in this use case, and there are opportunities to start implementing this in different countries because this setup can, we think, work in a bunch of use cases. So this is one of the most exciting things that happened, I would say, to Kleros in all of its history, because it enables the possibility of addressing very massive use cases. Use cases where there are like thousands happening at the same time, like in the consumer. Because this could be extrapolated to every like fintech apps, insurance tech app, utilities, and everything that has like smaller type of claims could potentially be addressed by this type of setup. We worked very hard with Marcos to try to build this, and I'm sure this is going to be an extremely important milestone also for the future, because it's the first time, as I said, blockchain arbitration is used into like what some would call a real world dispute resolution process. And there's already people writing about this, papers and all that. I don't know, Marcos, if you want to comment something about this. It's going to be remembered, mark my words, as a historical moment in the future of law.
Yeah, I think it was already very well explained by you, the process of how a dispute is going to be resolved in Lemon when a user calls to be the conflict to be resolved by Kleros. So from my point of view, as you said, I think it's really good for Kleros. And now from the BD team, we are going to start working. The idea is maybe next year start. We already did some research about new centralized exchanges to contact as Lemon. So the idea is to start contacting them maybe in February of next year, so that we get more integrations as this one.
Yeah, and there's also a very important element that happened that is going to be helpful for this type of integrations. So a few weeks ago, the Mexican Congress passed a new law on dispute resolution about like innovation in dispute resolution, and they mentioned decentralized justice as one of the potentially legally valid methods that can be used to resolve claims in the context of the Mexican legal system. Of course, they cannot mention the name of Kleros in a bill because that would not be appropriate. But they do mention decentralized justice in the same words that we use to describe it. And well, you can read the bill. And this is also an extremely important milestone that is going to enable, we think, the use of Kleros in consumer claims into the Mexican market, which is 150 million people, and it's also a very well-developed market for crypto. So this is a huge validation happening to Kleros as a project. I mean, even if they don't mention Kleros, they do mention decentralized justice. You want to mention something?
Yeah, sorry. Of course, this started in one exchange from Argentina, but of course that could go to any other country, as you said, Mexico. And then when they start working, this could go to all the world. And it could be useful also for another companies, not just centralized exchange, but any other company as industries, as marketplaces, where users have a lot of problems with the support team of the company, and a lot of times there's not a sense of fairness. So, well, for those companies, Kleros could do a really good job.
Yeah, exactly. So everything that is related to consumer claims now is within the reach of potentially Kleros. So this is going to be first a validation. I know, building something that is recognized by a nation state as potentially valid. So this is going to bring some credibility in order to push Kleros in all of these different types of use cases in all of these consumer types of claims that happen in like real life economies. So this is extremely important, and it's also got me thinking that, as you know, if you have read The Network State by Balaji, one of the things he mentions as the end game recognition for a blockchain project is the fact of starting to be recognized by traditional like legacy company state, basically. So this is kind of a way for Mexico to recognize, I would say, the Kleros Republic or the Kleros Nation as like a peer in this world of organizations and entities that live in this metaverse age. Some of them from the traditional legacy world, others newer like Kleros. So I can't stress enough how important this is, and it's also part of the result of lots of different work we did in the past by engaging with many different agencies in multilateral organizations, universities, lots of different work and presentations, conferences, talks, and everything done, for example, at Stanford. Jan, one of our research team members, is now doing his PhD at Paris 2, which is one of the best law schools in France, and he's also doing his research stay at Stanford Codex. This is the most important center for research in legal informatics. So that we have participated in lots of conferences, for example, at Harvard with Blockchain Gov. All of this work of networking with different organizations, government, non-government, blockchain, non-blockchain, is starting to pay in the sense of Kleros having the credibility to now engage with a number of agents that are those who are having the most important volume of disputes. For example, there was, just to mention a few, a month and a half ago, there was the United Nations Commission on Trade and Development, part of the United Nations, of course, published a report where they discussed about the future of consumer dispute resolution and consumer regulation agencies. Read this. This is targeted at the leaders of consumer claims agencies of governments. And they mentioned basically two key technologies that are going to be used in the future of dispute resolution for consumer claims. One of them is AI, of course, for automating part of the process, automating decision making. But then the other one is Kleros, because AI is great for some things, but it's not enough for a number of other different things. In particular, because when there is a decision made by a machine, there will be always an instance of appeal that will go to a human court for human decision makers to overrule potentially the decision that was made by the machine. It's very hard to imagine dispute systems where you have just a computer making a decision and this is just automatically enforced. If you see how the regulation is evolving in Europe and in the United States, both require AI systems to have like another layer of humans. And this, I think, Kleros is going to be an important part of this infrastructure. If you want to learn more about this, you can read the article I published like 3 weeks ago at the American Bar Association. I was invited to write an article. We got the permission to put it in our blog, so Jim can share this. And there, I try to discuss and imagine how dispute systems are going to, in the future, be composed of part AI and part decentralized justice. Okay, so that's one important thing, and that's how United Nations Commission on Trade and Development is seeing this. And then there is this other agency of the UN that is called the World Intellectual Property Organization, and we have been working with them quite closely in trying to understand how we could potentially use the Kleros and other technologies as well in the context of esports. So as you know, esports is gaming in general also becoming a big part of the activity. I mean, lots of people spend lots of time playing online, and disputes happen in the context of games and in the context of tournaments, and it's not very clear how they are going to be resolved. So we did together seminar. We have been doing a bunch of research and customer research, trying to interview and engage with different actors in this industry. Some of them are players of gamers, others are publishers, others are the people who have the organize the leagues, others are the teams. So we have done lots of interviews with different agents from these different segments to understand how systems such as Kleros could potentially help in this context. And like 2 weeks ago, we did a joint event about how we could start thinking of these new dispute resolution systems be used in esports. This is super early stage now. I mean, we had the idea that Kleros could be used for this for a long time. I think in the original white paper or in some of the early materials we produced, we mentioned esports and gaming as use cases, but the industry was still a bit underdeveloped. But now time is coming, and we are partnering with the WIPO for this research. And I think I don't know if I should say this, but okay, I'm going to say it, but don't say anything outside of this room. So we are organizing to host a conference about dispute resolution in esports and gaming at the University of Neuchâtel in Switzerland on May the 30th in a partnership with the University of Neuchâtel and the WIPO. So I shouldn't say anymore, because I mean, if you say any of this, I mean, you didn't hear from me. I mean, I will deny having said this. So yeah, but if you are interested, in this type of things, just try to save the date of May 30 for that conference. And then this is already a bit too long. Just also, other internal things about trying to consolidate the team. As we know, we have lots of different products going on. We have different stuff to manage. So we are trying to grow the team, trying to recruit. So if you want to apply to Kleros, we have a bunch of different positions open. And I think that next year is going to be interesting in the sense of trying to see the convergence of different things that we have been working for like a long time now. As we say, so Kleros to work, it's like needs to have aligned a number of things, like basically 4 different things. So first, it needs to be technically secure in the sense of being able to withstand attacks and resist situations of 51% attacks, smart contract hacks, everything that you need for the system to be secure. That's one thing, and that's what William, who is on vacation now, works on every day. Then there is also the market imperative. So what type of use cases and what type of claims is going to be resolved by Kleros? What is the market situations that the use cases that are going to work? This is all of these explorations we do with, I mentioned WIPO, UNTAD, all of the work we do in business development, I mentioned about Curate. That's second big thing. So the third big thing is the legal aspect of it. So is this method legal? We start to have now some ideas and some signals that this is actually seen as legal by nation states, for example, by Mexico. So this is an important element that is going to unlock a lot of potential use cases that are now maybe blocked because of questions about the legality of the decentralized justice approach. And finally, the ethical aspect. So Kleros has a very specific method for solving disputes based on shelling points and all you know already. And this is seen by some people as in conflict with traditional understandings of dispute resolution. And a bunch of the new improvements that are going to come from the V2 launch is going to solve this type of situations, in the sense that SBTs enable more flexible ways to choose jurors. One person, one vote is important for a number of use cases that was not doable before. And also from the point of view of the customers and the partners, the message that we have been spreading for a while now already are seeing Kleros as acceptable as a dispute resolution method, because now there are more use cases, there are more cases that were resolved. So these technical, market, legal, and ethical elements are, I think, now starting to converge in what is going to be a great 2024. So I guess that's it for today. I don't want to keep you for much longer. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. And let's cheer up for the next year. Thank you for coming, guys, and I'll see you very soon.
See you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Happy New Year.